Saturn in Libra, personality traits and how it affects your life. The 7th house is the zone of significant one-to-ones. It's out of this inner circle of friends, lovers, colleagues, and children that the very structure of life is created. It's weighty for most people, but when Saturn's here, it's a personal mountain to climb. And earning its rewards, healthy, stable relationships, are a pinnacle. Saturn in the relationship zone can mean there are big, at times crippling inhibitions. What appears to be a cakewalk for others, pairing up, comes bundled with a lot of stress for you. It's just so important that when it seems near or possible, there can be intensity, fear or social paralysis. One early step is to develop trust with a friend, as the basis for other kinds of relationships. Some Saturn 7th natives sense the intensely formative impact of bonding in a twosome, and instinctively shy away. Traditionally, this is someone who is reserved in love or making friends. There is some wisdom in that, as Saturn demands patience until the time is right. Sometimes, especially if your Saturn is in opposition to personal planets, there can be delays caused by life circumstances or other barriers. Overcoming fear of rejection, disappointing early relationships, shouldering heavy burdens in love, marrying for societal status, love as a business alliance, overly dependent on approval. Encouragement brings discipline to stay current with friends and lovers, wisdom earned in a relationship, attracted to established, settled people, many older friends or lovers, dependable colleague or business partner. Beloved in the mirror. Someone with this Saturn will be tested. Are you attracted to a relationship as a mirror of your feelings of inadequacy? That's also why Saturn here tends to be resistant to merging lives. He or she is torn between the fears of missing out and that of making an irreversible choice. Some natives sense the need to find themselves before taking the plunge. Alternatively, there could be choices made when young that feel fundamentally wrong. A divorce or breakup is hard on this Saturn, and could turn life upside down. It's also possible that he or she witnessed a heavy, depressing relationship growing up. Maybe there was a divorce that ripped the family apart. Saturn is about going beyond known ways of living. You might repeat a pattern you've sworn you would never. The area of significant others is a testing ground to find what works best. That could feel like going beyond the known and conventional. It has to be authentic and based on real-life experience, not theory. In the end, Saturn here makes one wise about love, and even an advisor to others. Call and response. Saturn here is opposite the ascendant, where the personality meets the world. And the 7th house is the first sign to crest into the public houses, 7 to 12. It's here, there is great meaning in how others react, and how this affects self-image. Who am I, based on how you're responding to me? So the 7th house is also the relationship to your public. A performer, or educator with this Saturn commits eliciting a response, from curiosity to a cathartic emotion. Saturn here hints at gifts of shaping public opinion. It's a truism that what you fear most has great power, and this Saturn's is confronting a fear of reactions of others. Saturn also hints at responsibility in one-on-ones. With an audience, or the public at large, that translates to a sense of duty or service. An example is an author that writes in service to humanity. The sign of your Saturn and its ruler, dispositor, will significantly influence how you do that dance with the other. Interpretations. Here's what astrologer Bob Mark said. Saturn in the 7th house tends to delay marriage. In fact, if you have this one, don't get married or even live with someone, other than a roommate, until you are at least 29 years old. You have to wait for Saturn to complete a full cycle around the Sun, for things to work out here. Early marriages will slowly decay and fail. I've seen this in over 90% of the cases. The partner may be older by at least 7 years, and if not a Capricorn, then at least a Capricorn type, solid, dependable, conservative in their private life. Marriage may be for money or security. Watch out. That one frequently backfires on you. Conversely, you yourself may become more practical and hardworking after marriage. What this placement definitely does not favor is a spur-of-the-moment marriage for romantic reasons to someone you just met. Cafe Astrology notes that the 7th, Libra, and Venus are all related. Venus rules relationships involving warmth and love. The 7th house is not naturally connected to love. Successful marriages are a combination of the 7th house, partnership, and 5th house self-expression, love. Be aware of your predilection. Know that you might be the kind of person who takes relationships more seriously than most. Be aware that your sense of responsibility makes you a very good partner. Your partner benefits from your attitude. Advertise yourself as someone who might not get into relationships easily, but when you do, they last forever. Behavior in love. As expected, Saturnian Libras put a lot of importance on the idea of a relationship, the harmonious bond between two people. With their partner, they will try to let go of their perfectionism, putting aside any superior expectations. With patience and kindness, they want to maintain a peaceful and relaxed atmosphere, even though things might not be so rose to begin with. With a partner who appreciates their innovative vitality, these natives will try love unconditionally and offer their full affection without waiting for something else. They may find it harder to wait for the right moment, or to give up on their competitive spirit, but compromises are necessary. Because you want a long-lasting relationship, where you can build up a nest, a refuge where one can retreat in case of great dangers, you are also willing to break the barriers and alter your personal principles. And this happens as an after effect, it's not something premeditated. His partner will definitely find it to be annoying and counterintuitive. In order to reach their ideals, and take the first steps toward a perfect love life, they must understand that a balanced communion is built on honesty, understanding, responsibility, and perseverance. The good and the bad. Something that the Saturnian Libra natives should work on is their tendency to become overly subjective and act with suppositions when making plans for the future. Whenever they analyze themselves, they start with a given set of premises, which aren't exactly positive or beneficial. They have to objectify their standards, take a step back, and rethink their approach. Once this decision is consciously made, nothing else will stop them from achieving their goals. The determination of these natives is not to be taken for granted. However, it's nothing more important to them than living a fulfilling life, filled with plenty of moments together with that special person, where they live life at its peak, experiencing the most intense feelings of communion possible. They take personal responsibility to a new level, always keep their words, and are dead serious about loyalty. But the constant gnawing feeling of solitude often leads them to enter into a relationship without thinking things through. They need to have someone in their life, and sometimes the feeling is too intense for any rational analysis. Patience should be an essential factor in this process, because otherwise, they will end up in a toxic relationship with someone who won't appreciate them for what they are. The Saturn in Libra man. Finally, we come across the essence of a Libra astrological sign, the intense focus on justice, balance, intellectual honesty, and fairness. The Saturnian Libran man wants to meet a principled woman, who never expects to be taken care of, to be pampered and offered preferential treatment. He will behave in such a way anyway, but that has to come out of his own initiative, not because there are expectations that have to be fulfilled. If she decides to move together with you, then she should also contribute to the household necessities, take some responsibilities for herself, and not expect to live in perfect comfort, while you do everything there is to do. Even when she makes a mistake and disappoints someone, with enough humility and self-awareness on her part, people will be understanding with her. The Saturn in Libra woman. Saturnian Libra women are dignified, straightforward, and follow some principles that they won't soon dispose of. In relationships, they won't accept any attempts to change their nature, and they won't stand it to be locked up in a cage of imposed rules. As far as their temperament and personality go, they are willing to admit they've made a mistake, once it's proven to be true, and this extends in their professional and personal life altogether. They sometimes go under the effect of these periods of planning, when they have to carefully look toward the future, and devise a strategy to make it theirs, to control it fully. This comes from this lady's need to be structured, organized, responsible, and objectively introspective.